So I just recorded a very interesting video. Well, I tried to record it and then I saw that it's not recording. But I'll welcome you back. I'll welcome you back again to this special episode. It's 7:30 p.m. in the evening on a Wednesday. I'm here in my office. I'm smoking an amazing cigar, Habana. And I thought I'd take this opportunity to share a little bit of information about myself, about my story, about who I am. So that you get to know me, that you get to know my intentions, you get to know who I am. Due to the reason that there are so many influencers out there nowadays talking about all kinds of stuff and really competing for clicks, competing for selling you something, etc. You always want to know who you're listening to, who's infiltrating your thoughts. Okay, where are you spending your valuable time? Time being your most valuable resource, of which you can never have more. I want you to know that about this channel so that you can decide for yourself, do I like this person? Do I like Javid? Do I sympathize with him, with his values, with his thoughts, etc., before you invest your time here, so that you can make an informed decision. So let me start by telling you a little bit about myself. So firstly, I was born in 1993. Means I am 30 years old as of now. And I was born here in Germany, lived here for the first 6 years or 7 years, moved to Ireland for 7 years, went to school there, came back, went to high school in Germany, finished that in 2013, 11 years ago, as of the time I'm making this video. I was never a good student, very mediocre at basically everything, also like languages, etc. I mean, English was good, as I had lived in Ireland, but everything else, sometimes I had some good exams, sometimes I didn't. Anyhow, coming from a family where we didn't have an academic background, me and my brother, there was nobody who could basically tell us how to study, how to approach stuff, the hacks, the tips and tricks of getting ahead in life academically. My brother did very well at school, I didn't do very well at school. And coming out of high school, I was like, okay, what am I even good at? What should I be focusing on? What should I be focusing on? What should I study? What should I do? I'm not really good at anything, okay? So that was basically the situation in 2013. So I decided, look, before I start studying architecture or economics or law or anything, I should really get to know more about myself. So what did I do? I started working. I started working in gastronomy, like as a waiter. I started working also in a law firm. As a student, not even student, I wasn't a student, but finishing school, I started working there, doing all kinds of stuff they needed, go buy this, do that, whatever, right? Sort of these kind of documents, whatever, all that kind of stuff, which doesn't require a lot of skill. So I started there in 2013, not knowing much about myself, not knowing anything about where I wanted to go in life. Okay, now the cigar is out. That's a sign. Stop smoking. So basically, what then happened was I started at this law firm. I got to know lawyers, how they work, and I was like, okay, this is quite interesting. In parallel, I had started after high school working in sales for an insurance. And so basically I was like a freelancer for the insurance, doing sales. And that really, really forced me out of my comfort zone, because coming into the whole thing, I was not at all self-confident. Okay, I was not confident in myself, my skills, and my looks, and whatever. Okay, and I mean, confidence, as we know, is always based on your feedback. So I didn't get much good feedback growing up, let's say, or I had certain situations which led to me not having a lot of like self-esteem and all that kind of stuff. So I started in sales, and that firstly really pushed me to get out of my comfort zone, okay? So I had to do all kinds of stuff, go talk to people on the street, I do all kinds of stuff in sales, which, on like low-level sales jobs, like just get clients at any price. And that really led me to get out of my comfort zone. And I realized one thing, I love communicating. I love working with people. I love consulting people. But I also realized one big thing, which is I did not like to do that work on that low level, on that low scale, where there are no entry barriers for people. So I would be competing against, 100,000 other people. I noticed that. Secondly, what I noticed was I do like intellectual work. I do like things which challenge me intellectually to actually think. And I got to know that part, not in sales, but working in that law firm. So I worked several jobs in parallel. And so Neither of these jobs paid me very well, to be honest. So I wasn't like good at sales in that sense. I was like making so much money, but I was learning about myself, and that was super important. And that basically led me to what? That basically led me to the conclusion that, well, if I like working with people, communicating, etc., but also the intellectual challenge, I should study law. Now, many people came and said, Javid, don't study law. You were bad at German, like at German in class, in school, not very good at that. Your grammar, you're this, you're that. Your math should be good for analytical thinking. Your math wasn't very good, etc., etc. But I was like, look, I'm going to go ahead with this anyway. This is my plan A, and I'm going to do it. So I started studying law in 2014, October, in a small city away from home. And that was the first time I really focused on something, put a lot of work in, and initially got some good results, better results than other people were getting. I was like, this could be it. This could really be my big shot. So I doubled down on that, right? So I studied a lot. I found some really good team players who I would study with, some like really smart people. And we would really focus and be like, we want to be the best at this. We want to be the best at law. Tough exam coming up, we want to be the best at this exam. Let's really, dig in. Let's do some group work. Let's really get ahead. Let's sit in class and start, when the professor asks in a room of 500-600 people, let's start showing up. Hands up, I want to answer that question. Just go out, go all in. So we started doing that, and we started creating these reinforcing positive loops of people being like, hey, that was good. Giving us like positive feedback, giving me positive feedback. And that was really reassuring that I'm on the right track. So I doubled down on that, became a nerd in that sense in law, and really started digging in. Started talking to the professors, building connections with them, started working for them eventually, started doing extracurricular activities like coaching like this big law competition and participating in the law competition, doing all that kind of stuff until I basically finished my legal studies in 2018, 2019, and very well. So at the top of my class, let's say, under the best 10%, you could say. And while I was studying, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about discipline, motivation, analytical thinking, approaching problems, structuring yourself. So for me, studying was something very valuable because I learned so much about myself, all these skills which I'd been missing, which nobody could ever have taught me, which I needed to learn by myself. I learned those studying. And so during that whole study time, I was always in touch with my older brother. We're like, we need to do business. We need to do something. Let's get ahead. We need to be entrepreneurs. So out of uni, we basically started our first company, a coaching and consulting business in the legal space, and really grew that business. I made another video on this, making 500K at 26 is the name of the video. You can find it on my channel. And so we really launched and scaled that first business. In that, learning a lot about not only coaching and that specific business, but about business in general. How do I scale business? How do I do sales? How do I do marketing? All these super, super valuable skills, which today are my core business, because all we do is basically consulting, sales. I train sales teams. We do marketing. We get leads for clients. We help them to grow their revenue. So basically, there was this transition phase, of not knowing anything about myself, finding something I'm good at, really digging into that, understanding more about myself, about how to perform and how to compete, and then using those skills now in business to really advance and, live a really, really good life from that and have a prosperous business and something that you can really dig in and also mentally, really say, this is it. Because for a lot of time, I was always thinking, okay, what if I still want to be a lawyer? Why don't I go that route? But what I understood about myself quickly is that entrepreneurship is the right thing for me. I'm a person, I love freedom. I love structuring my own day. I cannot be under the command of someone 24/7, okay? Not saying that I would never consider it if the job was right, okay? So it all comes at a price. But for 99% of jobs and of things, this is very true for me at least. So anyhow, I did that and I launched that business and we scaled that business. And we have been in business now for over 5 years. It's March now, March 2024. We've been in business for over 5 years now. We've managed to, without any external capital, like from day one, run a profitable business, feeding several people and have a good life, a prosperous good life, with a lot of traveling, fancy bling bling things as cars and watches and whatever you can think of. And at the moment, I really feel that I'm in the right spot, Not only in the sense of an objective third person thinking about these things of like, am I in the right spot? But also, thinking of it from perspective of mentally, mentally really being where you are. Not constantly thinking of where could I be or where should I be or am I doing the right thing, but actually really, really committing to that thing. And so basically, now turning that circle around and closing that thought, I made this channel. And I made this channel to document my journey because I really went from nothing, like no skills, no ambition, no motivation, no discipline, to someone who has all that stuff figured out, who can run a business, a functioning business, and sustain a living for himself, several other people, and also have a very big upside, in the sense that we're still growing, we're still at the very beginning in that sense. Because in business, you should know, the first 3, 4, 5 years, oftentimes, there are exceptions, oftentimes are really just trying. Okay, trial and error. And we're at a point now where the trial and error has come to an end. We know what works in terms of the services we sell. We know how we sell them. We know how to do our own marketing. We know how to run the whole business. We understand business. I understand business. And now we can, of course, excel at that. So the last 5 years have been ups and downs, trying this, trying that, growing this business, growing several different things, focusing on all different kinds of things, falling into many traps, golden objects, chasing after this and that, to now really being focused. And now the next 5 years we'll really excel and grow a massive business out of this because we have the skill set, we know what we're doing, and now we can really focus. So if you're on a journey, if you're on a similar journey, if you're at the point where you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, if you're at a point where you're like, I think I'm doing the right stuff, I'm moving into the right direction. If you're at a point where you already have a business and you're like, I want to learn more about marketing, about sales, about all these kind of things, okay, about self-development, then this channel is the right channel for you because I will share these things, and of course you can always give me feedback on what is interesting to you, what you want to be, want me to talk about, let's say. And then I can really focus on those things and really give you input to exactly that. This is a short story about me, about my values, about where I am going. I'm a person who's obsessed with personal development, about getting ahead, living a happy, fulfilled life and getting the most out of yourself, out of your opportunities, out of your possibilities, everything that you have, to really squeezing that out so you can always look back at your life and say, I'm happy, I'm content with where I am. Because a lot of people I see, they don't make those big decisions, and that leads to frustration, it leads to demotivation. In worst cases, or in bad cases, also leads to depression. So I want to prevent you from that wherever you are in your life. If you're on that journey, to follow this channel, share this channel. And if you like this kind of personal content about me, getting into more specifics about my background, about what I do, etc., there'll be more of that coming. I always do what people like, what followers like. So if I can add value to you, your business, your life, your personal development, your growth, whatever, then this is the right channel for you. I appreciate you being here, your time. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a follow, share it, whatever. Yeah, you know what it is. It's always the same stuff. And I'm looking forward to having you and seeing you here soon again.